Welcome to Marking the Word, a quiet space to slow down, read scripture, and reflect on the text line by line. If you're new here, this channel is a personal journey through the Bible from cover to cover. Each week, we take one chapter, read through it together, and highlight key verses and notes along the way. Whether you're following along with your own Bible, studying, or just listening in to find a moment of calm, I'm glad you're here. Today, we are in the book of Genesis, and we are going to be moving on to chapter 3. We are, of course, using the Holy Bible World English Edition. We can freely copy, display, overlay, and record the text digitally without copyright restrictions or licensing fees. All right. Here we are on chapter 3. Now the serpent was more subtle than any animal of the field which Yahweh God had made. He said to the woman, "Has God really said, 'You shall not eat of any tree of the garden?'" The woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit from the trees of the garden, but not the fruit of the tree which is in the middle of the garden. God has said, 'You shall not eat it. You shall not touch it, lest you die.'" The serpent said to the woman, "You won't really die, for God knows that in the day you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil." When the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was a delight to the eyes, and that the tree was to be desired to make one wise, she took some of its fruit and ate. Then she gave some to her husband with her, and he ate it too. So we're going to stop there for a second because I feel like it's important to kind of break this down a bit. So here's the serpent. And I find it interesting that the serpent decides to speak with a woman first. And she's truthful. She says what she's been told. And she has no reason to believe that this serpent will lie to her. So she thinks through it. Hey, it's good for food. Looks good to me. And hey, the serpent is saying that it's going to make us wise. So she takes it. She eats from it, and so does her husband. Their eyes were opened, and they both knew that they were naked. They sewed fig leaves together and made coverings for themselves. They heard Yahweh God's voice walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh God among the trees of the garden. Yahweh God called to the man and said to him, "Where are you?" The man said, "I heard your voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, so I hid myself." God said, "Who told you that you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree that I commanded you not to eat from?" The man said, "The woman whom you gave to be with me, she gave me fruit from the tree, and I ate it." Yahweh God said to the woman, "What have you done?" The woman said, "The serpent deceived me, and I ate." Yahweh God said to the serpent, "Because you have done this, you are cursed above all livestock and above every animal of the field. You shall go on your belly, and you shall eat dust all the days of your life. I will put hostility between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He will bruise your head, and you will bruise his heel." To the woman he said, "I will greatly multiply your pain in childbirth. You will bear children in pain. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. To Adam, he said, because you have listened to your wife's voice and have eaten from the tree, about which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat of it. The ground is cursed for your sake. You will eat from it with much labor all the days of your life. It will yield thorns and thistles to you, and you will eat the herb of the field. You will eat bread by the sweat of your face until you return to the ground, for you were taken out of it. For you are dust, and you shall return to dust. Lots going on there. I'm going to color code for my own sake. All right, so let's start with a serpent, right? So he realizes that this is where it all kind of began. And so the serpent must now be cursed. And what does that actually mean? Well, you shall go on your belly. Oh, I hope I don't highlight all that. I did. Oh well, that's fine. There we go. Shall go on your belly. Yeah. And there will be hostility. Right? So everybody that comes after this woman and this man is going to be hostile towards the snakes. And look at that. We will bruise its head. We'll want to kill it, and it will be able to hurt us back, right? And then to the woman, he says, you know what? Now you're going to bear children in so much more pain. And you are going to desire for your husband. You're going to yearn for him. And how many of us do, right? That's the dream, to find our partner. And he will rule over you. And then he turns to Adam. And he's saying, hey, you've chosen to listen to your wife's voice above mine. He reminds him exactly of what he had said earlier. And now the ground is cursed. So it's not as easy as walking around a garden and just kind of picking everything you want. Now, that earth is going to give you thorns and thistles, and you're going to have to work extremely hard. You're going to eat bread by the sweat of your face until the day you die. There's no break. You want to live, you're going to need to work to be able to feed and sustain yourself every day. I did find it interesting that he's named Adam, and I believe in the next verse we see for the first time the woman's name. So let's keep going. The man called his wife Eve because she would be the mother of all the living. Yahweh God made garments of animal skins for Adam and for his wife and clothed them. Yahweh God said, behold, the man has become like one of us, knowing good and evil. Now, lest he reach out his hand and also take of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore, Yahweh God sent him out from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed cherubim at the east of the Garden of Eden, and a flaming sword which turned every way to guard the way to the tree of life. So it sounds like they ate from it, and now they're able to tell good from evil. However, if they continue to eat from it, they will live forever, and that is something God it's just not in his will. So he's decided that man and woman must now leave. They must leave the garden. And now he's got to go out there and till the ground. I'm curious about this word right here. Cherubim. Powerful angelic creatures, messengers of God with wings. So he's put a little bouncer, is what that is, on one end, on the east end of the garden. And then he's got this sword that just turns every which way so they can't get in. Wow. What a chapter, huh? Well, we have come to the end of chapter 3. Thank you so much for joining me. Until the next chapter, take care and stay in the Word.